also serve with French horseradish. Let you put that on yourself. Your horseradish lover.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's some serious horseradish.
Some serious
Yeah.
And we eat this sandwich with our fingers. There's no knife and fork here in Western New York.
I am not, I will say, one of the saddest indictments was seeing my Republican opponents both eating pizza with a knife and fork. That's,
Ew.
I can confidently say in 45 years of life, I don't think I've ever once taken a knife and fork to a pizza, and I'm confident I'm never going to.
Clean flavors, caraway, the salt,
Yeah.
little au jus and horseradish, and then roast beef that's been cooked for over 18 hours. Goes good with a beer, but I don't have any beer. We have another unique drink here. It's called Loganberry. It came from southern Ontario where there was a music department. It's real sweet and berry good drink. It's a non-carbonated drink. Loganberry, unique to Western New York. Got it?
Very good. Now, Charlie, how long have you been in business?
Well, let's see, the company is over 100 years old. We started in 1915 by my grandfather. He was a butcher. My father was a butcher, a third generation butcher.
So are you Charlie the Third?
I am actually a different middle name, so we all had different middle names. But about 25 years ago, I had to change direction of the company. We were an inner city ethnic market. I had to kind of change that direction because there were supermarkets being built on the outside of the city.
Yeah.
And that old ethnic inner city market was starting to decline. So we started cooking the products that we had in our butcher shop. And I was always a butcher. My name was Charlie. And I always wore this hard hat. And so about 25 years ago was the creation of Charlie Butcher.
So now, do you still have a butcher shop and people buy meat, or is it now mostly
No, we
a
have
restaurant?
our own cooked roast beef and supermarkets. Almost all our concept now is restaurant. I still have a knife in my hand every day, but I actually carve a piece of roast beef and turkey and all cooked products.
I gotta say, that's bread pudding there?
That's a bread pudding.
That
We serve it with a fresh vanilla sauce. We make our own cookies. But we're lucky. We're here in Western New York. Third generation family business. Had to reinvent itself every 5 or 6 years. You have to tweak it. We're in a state that has a different direction. They want to create jobs, but they also want to pay $15 an hour.
Yeah.
I have 7 locations. I could have probably 20 locations. But as a businessman, I got to take a step back and say, well, how do I do that if there's a minimum wage of $15? I like that. I think it's fair, but it's going to affect prices. And it affects the taxes I pay. It affects the payroll taxes, my disability, my social security. Everywhere down the line, you end up paying rent.
So if I heard you right, you said without those regulations, you could have 20 locations instead of 7.
I'd rather have the right to be able to dictate that myself than being handed from the government perspective. Trying to.
How many jobs would that be if there's 20 locations? How many jobs does a typical location produce?
Probably about 8, 10 people. 60 people.
That's a lot of people.
But I have a $7 sandwich at a $15 an hour. I don't know what that would do to what I would have to charge for that sandwich. And how that affects the whole economics.
Now, do you still have members of your family working in the company?
Yep, I have a son. Yep, he's in it.
Now, is he the 4th Charlie, or?
No, he's not. We used to, years ago, we started this concept here 25 years ago. We always would employ and train a lot of high school kids. And again, as the regulations came, it became harder and harder to hire them and train to adhere to the regulations that was imposed on them. So about 7 or 8 years ago, we had to take the position of we have to control this older clientele. Responsibility to do that. Where we were the traders, we were the ones that really got them to speak to customers, interact with customers, learn procedures, be held accountable for those procedures. And I feel bad now because I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the youngsters are going to be employed at a faster rate than what they were back then. People are going to take a different look at it.
Charlie. sadly, we're seeing that across the country, where it's particularly teenagers. You've got a lot of low-income teenagers, African Americans, Hispanics, that their unemployment rate is just tragically high. And the restaurant business has been such an amazing avenue for allowing people. You know, my dad started in 1957, washing dishes, making 50 cents an hour. It was a place you could, as you say, start to learn some basic skills and begin climbing the economic ladder.
And you can climb the economic ladder quite fast. If you show up on time, you have clean uniform, you're responsible for the customer interaction you do, and that's what works.
Now, your 7 locations, any of the folks managing those locations, people that started at an entry level?
Yes, I mean, it's most of them are 20, 25 years.
And that's a lot of the history. I mean, you can start washing dishes or mopping the floors, and
That's right.
And if you do a good job, you can climb up and make more money and earn more responsibility.
That's right. You're wolfing that sandwich dough.
They don't let me eat on the campaign trail. No, the sandwich. The sandwich is delicious, so let me say to everyone in Buffalo, come to Charlie's and order the beef on Weck. And my advice is put a lot of horseradish on it, because that's really good when it's got some kick to it.
Thank you, Senator.
You learn a lot about Buffalo in your short trip here?
Wonderful people. Wonderful people with common sense values. People in Buffalo, they want to work. They want to provide for their families. They want to have a better future. And it's getting harder and harder to do that the last 7 years. It's been harder and harder for moms and dads to provide what their kids deserve. And we need to change that. I think people here in Buffalo, they're hungry for a change. And it is that hunger for change that is really the passion. It's why we're seeing so many Americans coming together, uniting behind our campaign, is because we're ready to get back to growing economic growth, to wages going up, to small businesses expanding. I'd like to see Charlie the next time I come here. He's got 7 locations. He'd like to have 20. I look forward to coming back here as president and seeing the 20 locations, seeing the 160 jobs, seeing teenagers being able to be hired again and getting opportunity. And the way to do that is getting government off of Charlie's back, getting government off the backs of small businesses. That's what I'm going to do as president.
Thank you, Senator. Supporting small businesses. Rick? Rogers?
It's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
I have a question.
Sure.
My phone's very bad.
Here, let me borrow your phone for a second. If I could.
Here you go, Mike. Itemized credit.
Thank you very much.
Scott?
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I'll receive that as a blessing. Hopefully, good over. Thank you for sure.
Are you sincerely going to go after prosecute Hillary again?
We're going to enforce the law wherever it goes.
If she was a Republican, she'd be in jail.
You better believe it. Thank you. Take care. Great to see you. Thanks again. Make sure to stay for Tuesday for Election Day first.
Absolutely. That's right. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Big
my vote too, sir. Thank you, sir. Good luck, fellas. Take care.